Pope that didn't show up to school the next day. And I thought to myself, where is he? And he got shot for a bicycle sprocket and a glass of milk, supposedly. And that's how my high school year started to develop. And during that time, I was an influence because I had two younger brothers, and they were going through the same scenario and situation. God forbid. Amazing, amazing things. And one of the purposes I brought my mom is because some of the issues that I talk about, I know sometimes are like, this can't happen. And so I like to bring my mom because she's an accountability to me, and she also knows the circumstances and the situations that we've encountered together outside of Christ. During my high school years, it's amazing how the Spirit of God and the Spirit of the world works. One or the other is active in the world with the influence, whether we're children or whether we're adults, and we've all been there. I remember seeing this Bruce Lee picture. I was probably about a freshman or sophomore in high school, and Bruce Lee was the man back then. You know what I mean? When you were a high schooler or a young person, everybody wanted to be a Bruce Lee guy, And so it is just amazing because about 2 weeks later, after being in high school, or after being a part of high school and going through these things, I see this Bruce Lee picture, and I thought, my friend Felix Guzman looked just like Bruce Lee. But he was Mexican, and he talked different, but he looked like Bruce Lee, I'm telling you. And I told Felix, I said, Felix, man, I want to take karate. I think that would be cool, I mean, I never took any type of sports or anything like that. I said, karate would be the thing to do, and you always watch Bruce Lee on TV. And a few weeks later after that, I heard this guy named Octavio Espinosa talking about this martial arts instructor who would teach you for free if you made good grades. And so Phoenix came and told me about this as well after we're hearing this in the hallway or however the circumstance was. And so we started asking Octavio, hey, where's this guy at? And so forth. Well, anyway, I went to the karate class. And we went, and I talked to those kids. He was John W. Mason, African-American man, Vietnam veteran, had his master's degree. And his mission in life was to help kids with this karate program. And I was one of those kids, And so I started going, and he really wasn't active, he wouldn't have altar calls or anything like that. But the first thing he taught me in my karate school when he sat down was that God is love. And love is God. This is a big, strong black man, and I had a value to his heart and his significance and the principles that he was instilling to me. I didn't know it was God. I had no idea it was the Holy Spirit working through this man and intervening until way later down life. I spent approximately 4 or 5 years with him, and he really grounded me and did a lot of counseling with my mom as she was going through her struggles in life at that time. And during that time with him, it was an awesome opportunity for me because I actually had direction. Have you ever been in a situation, I don't know if anybody is here, where you didn't have direction, you didn't know what direction was, and all of a sudden somebody comes into your life, and he's that or she's that person that kind of grounds you and gives you hope and gives you a vision and kind of takes that authority, that spiritual covering. Well, he was that man to me at that time. The only man besides Martin in my life that was actually caring and loving, looking out for my benefits. And so I'm taking karate for 4 to 5 years. And during that time, I'm still having my affiliation with the Mexican drug cartels. I'm still hanging around the wrong people, but I'm making the right decisions now. I was a lot better kid. And during this time, I was developing and becoming more experienced. I was becoming more experienced. My anger issues, my psychological issues were under control at that time. I wasn't insane yet. And life was pretty much good. And I had a future, I thought, going for myself. I was winning trophies and I was doing really well. But the karate really didn't work because I remember I was all bad and prideful one day. And there was this probably the only white kid at Kimball, Justin F. Kimball High School. And I picked a fight with him because he was like, I thought, well, I can take him. He's the smallest guy in high school. He beat me up. And I was like a green belt in karate, been training for years. And he tore me up on the street. I was like, what's that all about, But anyway, and so I'm sitting there and I'm growing through, and I had a lot of Mexican drug cartel affiliations all the way in life. I mean, growing up around drugs, growing up around guns and different things like that was just all the time in high school. You saw the kids do it, and I'm sure all of us have experienced it. It doesn't escape any of us. It's there in the high school, the schools especially in the colleges too. And so, but once again, I felt like there was always a favor in my life where I really didn't need to go there. I just always thought I had it under control. Never really thought that I was ever going to fall into that same trap that we see statistically on these on the news. And so